OK, we need to take a look at the markets from a technical perspective. Howard Friend is a technical analyst at MIG Bank. Howard, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Right, we've got the euro versus the dollar. Everybody is fascinated about this pair at the moment. Will we see a resurgence in form in the dollar? What does the chart say?
Yeah, I think the dollar will strengthen. Last few weeks we've been kind of heading sideways higher, but that's sort of a natural response to the big breakdown we saw from 151.44 to 142.17. But this week so far we're kind of struggling at the 2-week high, which is kind of typical within a bear market, and I think eventually we'll crack the recent low at 142.17, head down towards 140 and probably 137.50 over coming weeks.
OK, and what about the euro versus the pound? The pound remains in the doldrums. We look at Greece and we have tremors of fear that we have similar problems, but we've got an election, so we'll just put it off for now.
Yeah, pound looks ugly across the board. I think I mentioned it last week. Last month or two, the pound is kind of like being edging a little bit higher against the Europeans at least. But it looks to me like euro sterling's finding a bit of support around 88.35.50, and that should sort of set the stage for an attack of 91.54, then 94.12, the recent high, ahead of 98.03, which is last year's high. Looks very ugly for the pound going forward. This kind of ties in with the cable heading down towards 150, I believe.
And I guess then, if you're saying it looks ugly across the board for the pound, it's a similar story versus the yen.
Very much so. Yeah, last week was kind of quite promising. We had a good, nice bullish candlestick, but we've reversed most of that this week so far. It looks to me like we're trading 139.27 to 153.23, and we're going to be heading towards the lower end of that range next few weeks, with eventually breaking through the bottom of it and looking at last year's low at 118.85, I believe. I think that's where we're headed.
All right, Hal, look, thank you very much indeed for joining us today. Very nice to see you. Speak to you. Didn't really see you, did we? Howard Friend, there you are, that's a picture of you, isn't it? Handsome man indeed. Howard Friend, technical analyst at MIG Bank.